Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Currently I'm in Moab at the Rimrocker Trail. This is a trail run through Moab, Utah, all the way through Montrose, Colorado. So I'll be spending the next 2 to 3 days in this trail. Yeah, we're gonna take it easy. Most people do it in 2 days, and I'm gonna see if I can do it in 2, if not 3. So it's 11:36, just got off my hotel, and let's hit the trail.
The Rimrocker Trail spans about 160 miles. It's not overly technical, but a lot of the sections are seriously bumpy, and much of the routes hug cliff edges. I'm not sure if that's where the name Rimrocker comes from, but it sure feels fitting. Some parts are narrow and steep, and I imagine it could get rough in the rain. Luckily, the weather during my run was nothing but clear skies. Starting out from Moab, it's classic red rock desert, but the further east you go, the more vegetation you start to see. I did this in early June, which might not be the ideal season. The creeks along the way were there, but barely flowing.
Alright, we made it out to 73. It was super bumpy, to be honest. The trail was also very narrow. I didn't get a chance to film much. Safety is a priority, obviously. We're gonna find a campsite and we're gonna get something to eat, because I didn't eat last night and didn't eat this morning, and I'm pretty hungry right now.
We've just wrapped up the uphill off-road section out of Moab and arrived beneath the La Salle Mountains. The most striking peak here might be Mount Peel. The high plateau opens up with the wide views of the snow-capped mountains. Absolutely stunning. As we push forward, we gradually enter the forest, and before I knew it, we were nearing the Utah and Colorado border.
We're crossing Utah and getting into Colorado. So this will be Colorado. This is Utah.
After crossing into colorful Colorado, I passed by a Buckeye campground and started looking for a dispersed campsite. Before long, I found a spot near a cliff with plenty of shade. Not only could I enjoy the overlook, but the trees would shield my camper from the morning sun. I hadn't eaten in nearly 30 hours, so I was ready for a proper meal. Black pepper beef and noodles. It's quite systematic when it comes to prepping meat for Chinese stir-fry. Salt and aromatics like scallions, ginger, garlic, or onions for flavor. Sometimes baking soda or fruit enzymes like pineapple or papaya, especially in Cantonese cooking, to tenderize the meat. A bit of alcohol to kill off bad smells or bad taste. Then coating the meat in starch or egg white to seal in moisture. And finally oil to prevent sticking. But when you're on a long trip like this, fancy methods aren't practical, so I keep it minimal. For this dish, I didn't rely on pre-tenderizing. I just sliced the beef thinly against the grain and worked in a bit of salt to season ahead of time. One of the tougher challenges on long trips is carrying delicate ingredients, like eggs or fresh aromatics. On shorter trips, I pack 1 meal's worth of eggs in a lock-and-lock container, fill the gaps with paper towels so they don't knock into each other, but that's not scalable. Factory egg containers are bulky and fragile. Fresh aromatics are critical to flavor, but stuff like spring onion doesn't last. So this trip, I just didn't bring any. I'm definitely missing out on flavor. I'll need to find better solutions later.
Well, good morning. Technically not morning, because it's already 11:22 now. It's gonna be the second day of the Rimrocker Trail. Slept pretty late last night, did some video editing. The battery is sitting at 13%-ish. Had to turn the truck on to use the Pro Power on board to charge up the battery, just in case it doesn't drain out before we leave. Gonna have lunch, have some leftover from last night. Gonna start packing and wait till lunch heats up and eat it and be on my way.
Today's trail covers a lot of different terrains: red rock desert cliffs, high desert grassland near Nucla, and pine forests as I enter Uncompahgre. One thing worth noting, check out the mountain in the background. The soil has a turquoise tint. I've seen red and black soils before. Those usually indicate iron, either in its +2 or +3 oxidation state. But this turquoise color is new to me. I'm guessing it suggests the presence of copper ions in the soil. Since I start out late today, I don't plan to push all the way to Montrose. The closer you get to town, the harder it is to find a good campsite. So I'll be looking for a spot somewhere in the Uncompahgre National Forest.
It is 6:33 p.m. 2.5 hours of searching. I found a campsite that's decent enough to spend the night here. Gonna set up the tent, and I'll see you guys then.
It's been several days since I last had a campfire, and I didn't have much else planned tonight, so I figured I'd light up a big one and relax.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's supposed to be our third day on the road. I was hoping to set off and complete the Rimrocker Trail today, but last night, after sitting by the fire pit, I found myself really liking this campsite. So I'm gonna stay here for one additional day. But right now, we are gonna shoot some guns, and I'm gonna practice my marksmanship. We'll see how that goes. So as you can see, most of the shots are landed at the bottom left. This means my left hand isn't strong enough to provide a support to make the center of mass in the center. I need to work on my left hand skills. When shooting steel like AR-500, what you want to do is make sure the plates kind of leans toward the ground. So when the bullet hits, it's gonna splash. Even if it bounces back, it's not gonna go back to you and hurt you. Got a little Budweiser can right there. Finished that last night, and I'm gonna see if I can get that.
Now, reviewing this footage, I've noticed something about my shooting. My right index finger tends to completely lift off the trigger after each shot. Ideally, I should just reset to the wall, not fully leaving the trigger. Fixing that could potentially help with speed and precision. I gotta work on that.
As you can see, we put a few holes in there. That must be the exit. Yeah, pretty cool.
On most BLM and National Forest land, recreational shooting is allowed for lawful gun owners if it's done safely and responsibly. Some basic rule of thumb: don't shoot near roads, campsites, or buildings, don't fire across roads or waterways or into water bodies, and make sure your target is safe and won't cause ricochets. In many areas, you are required to shoot against a natural backstop like a dirt hill. Even where it's not strictly required, you are still responsible for every round you fire. I couldn't find a proper backstop here, but I made sure my angles were safe. Rounds are going into soft ground, and there was absolutely nothing in the line of fire that I didn't intend to destroy. Always check for fire bans or local shooting restrictions before you start. After finished practicing, I checked my undercarriage again. This is the kind of thing that can cause a big problem if you don't catch it early. Even though I torqued every bolt down the night before entering the trail, the U-bolts on the rear leaf spring had already loosened up again. Remember to always take preventative measures. That night, I treated myself to a hot pot feast. This time I wanted to try something different, so I didn't set up my camp stove. I stacked rocks to hold the pot, and used hot coals from the fire to heat it. The water took over an hour to boil. Not exactly efficient, but in the end, my body and appetite were fully satisfied.
Alright, so I guess we're here. Even though there isn't a sign at this terminus, but I do think that we're at the end of the Rimrocker Trail. On the map, we're at the end. I'm gonna head into Montrose, get lunch, and get ready for Black Canyon of the Gunnison. That's where we're heading next. So yeah, this is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.